July 1st, Cats in the Cradle. In a quiet private room in a bar in San Francisco's Embarcadero district, a man sat, looking at the rest of the place through a one-way mirror. Drunk as hell, he watched the bodies rise and twist to the music, as though the beast were a main call to a virtual carnival. But that was part of the problem. The man knew if he walked out there, he could have a pick of any, certainly more than one, and have them in bed practically instantly. Hell, just wagging his eyebrows would probably get a couple hot and bothered, such was his fame. But he didn't want that. No, he sighed. What he wanted he knew he could never have, and that was his own fault. If I were you, he crooned, his voice seeming to slur for now madness and whiskey were on the rocks he had. I'd be straight and true, just for you, a true heart blue. Sitting on the other side of the table, T-Rex groaned, D, you're drunk. Running a hand through his shaggy platinum blonde hair, Discord looked at his best friend with red eyes that seemed to shift to yellow when the light hit him just right. Dude, I'm drunk right now. I do not a fuck give. So please, allow me to sing some stupid half-written lyrics to all three of you until I vomit on the floor, and you can have someone in our record label hire an entourage to take me back to my hotel room, where I can scream the next morning about a goddamn hangover.
Well, if it helps, my wife hired 2 girls to serve as our bodyguards.
T-Rex said with a grin.
They're out there right now, half naked and assigned to lean over wrists, until we can make it to the limo. Heck, just to make it realistic, one of them is supposed to stick her tits in your face and tell her that she wants your baby.
The other ivory-haired man looked out the mirror before saying,
Fortunately for you, she's a happily married lesbian with a family, and is doing this just for the job, else you would be worried.
Look, only tits I want to grab right now are Pose. Discord sighed, exhaling back against the leather sofa as he saw us, hair fell into his eyes. Did I ever tell you how I composed a song about how perky Pose's tits are?
No, and I don't want to hear it either.
T-Rex said,
Skies will kill me, tits will kill you. You shall tell Pose that your wife will kill all of us.
But do you know what I want more than anything else? Discord slurred. T-Rex groaned.
Great, here it comes,
he said, taking a drink from his rum and coke. Ignoring him, Discord said, more than anything else, I want to hold my little girl and tell her I'm sorry, that I'm a bad daddy and I don't deserve... Discord suddenly stopped. T-Rex was wondering what the hell happened when a snore suddenly came out the other man's mouth. T-Rex shook his head as he watched his best friend drink himself stupid. Again. A second later, a knock came on the door, and a girl with barely any clothing came in. Mr. T-Rex? Just checking up on you two.
Thanks,
Javelin. The woman said, I know I was introduced to you as tender size, but that's all part of the job, sir.
Thanks anyway. Discord's out like a light. Would you mind getting your partner in?
Sure thing, Javelin said with a grin. Arbalest, she was introduced as Sweet Tuts, has been talking about it all night. She says if she has to, it'll be the first time any guy has ever seen them. T-Rex rolled his eyes.
Okay, I'll call the chauffeur and have him sent up to pick us at 5.
Will do, sir. Be right back, Javelin says she went to get her partner. T-Rex got up and looked at his drunken friend. He knew Discord was hurrying, especially after he and Skies had told the rocker about what happened a couple of weeks back. He hoped the next few days would mend all the years of pain. There's no guarantee it would, but T-Rex believed in his friend, and believed in Fluttershy.
If anyone could do it, it's Shy,
he thought with a grin as the 2 bodyguards slunk in, the eager and willing looks on their faces, as much as the lives of Discord and T-Rex lived. As the private plane lifted off from the CTV, the passengers, mostly teenage girls, were giggling and enjoying the whole thing. This is the life! Rainbow cooed as she leaned back in the plush seat. I can get used to this. At least you can't, Rainbow, Octavia said with a smirk, before pointing to the chattering, somewhat panicked person across the cabin. Some people can't. Applejack looked at Octavia with annoyance. You know, you could be a little nasty, Sugar Cube. So A is your cousin. Yeah, but she was this bad too and from LA, Octavia told Applejack. She's just one of those people who can't stand flying, is all. That's the thing, Pinky replied. My favorite part is when there's turbulence and this thing goes ticking like a roller coaster and the pilot says everything's fine, but you don't know if he really is control or not. Oh, now you see why I insisted on Pinky staying with us instead of over there, Octavia told the others. On the other side, Twilight took her sister's hand and said, It's okay, Sonny. I'm here with you, and you'll be fine. Easy for you to say, Sunset said, looking at her sister with worry. Have you been on one of these death traps before? About a month ago, Twilight drawled. And for far longer than you did. It's just a 90-minute flight from Canterlot to San Francisco, Sonny. Okay, relax. Sunset, dear, Rarity told her. It's quite all right. Remember that flying is the safest form of travel that people have developed. Why, when I was a child, I was even in the plane class. And as you can see, I survived. You were? Twilight asked. Rarity nodded. Yes. We were flying back from my grandmother's place in early 2001. This was before 9/11, mind. And we had to make an emergency landing in Boise because the hydraulics had lost power or something. Anyway, the pilot had to make a belly landing, and though we were all shaken, we managed to make it okay. The flight was later proven to be an accident, not a pre-terrorist attack or what have you. But I assure you, Sunset, these sort of things are astronomically... Rarity didn't say anything further as Sunset got her chair and raced to the restroom. Rarity, that might not have been the best of topics to bring up right now, Twilight said sternly. The apologetic smile on Rarity's face made it clear she hadn't intended to have the effect on Sunset as she did. A couple of seconds later, the teens could hear the sounds of retching in the restroom. Sorry, Rarity said, flushing from embarrassment. In the third set of chairs, Fluttershy, Posy, and Angel occupied those. Angel had worn himself out for the excitement of being on a flight and had fallen asleep. At the moment, Posy was reading from a tablet, and Fluttershy was wearing her Grados. From what Posy could tell, the music her daughter was listening to was probably the Cardigans' Emerald, father and daughter. Despite their differences in the former's vastly different music style, had to share say some music. Sitting inside her tablet, Posy looked at her daughter. You know, dear, neither your brother nor I are going to be offended if you go sit with your friends. Fluttershy hit pause on her phone and removed the headphones so she could hear her mother's word at her reply. I don't think that's a good idea right now, Mom. The teen's face scrunched up in a sort of helpless look. I don't want them to think any differently of me. Why would they do so? With the exception of Twilight and Tavi, they've all known you for years. Even Sunset, who was once your biggest enemy, has turned out to be a good friend as well, right? Plus, if you want someone whose life has become different, that would be her. After Sunset's birthday, Fluttershy had told her mother of what had happened, Sunset's reaction. Posy had commented it was good for the troubled teen to finally find a place where she belonged. I know, Fluttershy replied, but this is different. None of them has a secret that makes them more important than anyone else. That's how I think I am, but they might think so. Even still, Fluttershy knew this was a lie. Once again, pointed back to Sunset, with the secret of what she was. She had the right to say she was more important than anyone else, but given how that turned out and the past years she spent getting over that, it'd be the last to make such a claim now. Sweetie, these are your friends. They're never going to think badly of you, I'm sure. Posy gave her daughter a smile and said, If anything, once you meet up with your father, I'm sure they'll be right there to support you. Sure. Right after Sunny and Rainbow scream because they're meeting their idol, Fluttershy sighed. Of course, that was unfair of her as well, as she had no idea if her friends would do the obvious or take the higher road and back her up regardless. Inwardly, she knew it would probably be the latter, but her friends were all, after all, just teenage girls like herself. Or at least Rainbow is. I think Sunny told us in private she's 30 now. That made the chiffon-haired teen shake her head from that fact. One of her friends was in her 30s and was still in high school. Of course, there was more to it than that, but that's just how the world works, she guessed. Something on your mind, dear, she heard her mother say inwardly. Fluttershy swore. So you let her mind wander when she's so enough, and now she probably missed something she probably needed to know. Not really, Flashlight said hesitantly. Why do you ask? 'Cause I know you, dear, Posey said with a smile. That's your, I have something on my mind, but I can't tell my mother look. And before you ask, I've known that look for a long, long time. When the younger woman blushed, Posey laughed and said, Trust me, just rely on your friends. They won't let you down. Now, as for me, I'm going to get back to my book, and I think you should go talk to the others. Posey leaned over and watched as a very green-looking sunset wound out of the restroom back to her seat. Posey reached over to her purse. Give Sunny these, and tell her to have some water and relax. Apparently flying is not her forte. You have no idea, Mom. Flashlight says she took the pills and went over to join her friends. 30 minutes later, sunset all but collapsed in relief on the tarmac at the San Rafael Airport, north of San Francisco. The arrows tried to both shield Sunset from view while simultaneously trying not to laugh at her. Needless to say, it was not an easy move. Are you feeling better, Sunny? Flashlight asked as he bent down to help her friend up. In a soft voice only Flashlight could hear, she admitted, All the times I flew with Princess Celestia when I was a filly, and I was fine. But I get into those metal tubes, and I'm terrified as an earth pony 40,000 feet up. She blinked away the nervousness, looking at Flashlight with gratitude. Thanks. I know I must look like an embarrassment. It's okay, Flashlight clarified. I know I'm probably going to look more than a mess a few times this weekend. Tell you what, the supposedly younger teen told the other one. You keep me out of trouble and I'll do the same for you. Deal, Flashlight says. They walked towards the concourse building with the others. As Sunset looked around, she noted that place didn't seem too different from where she lived. Granted, this was California wine country, and not the NorCal she was used to. But she could deal with it. She already dealt with a much busier life that was Los Angeles. I got a few hundred miles more to the south, so putting up with this was just normal, right? The group walked in to get their bags, only to know a bunch of men putting their luggage onto racks. Is there a problem, gentlemen? Posey asked. Not at all, ma'am. Just making sure you get the 5-star treatment, a young woman, seemingly her teens, said with a smile. She had wavily blue hair and expressive red eyes. Rainbow turned her head at that voice. Melancholy Rose, is that you? Before she could get an answer, she went over to hug her friend and Scootaloo's biological sister. Hey! No time long see, girl! What brings you here? Dad's the producer for the charity concert, Rose explained. And when he found out who was on the passenger manifest for the private flight, that'd be best if family got involved, you know. So, Skids come with you? Rainbow shook her head. No. But then again, if we know we were going to be here, so you probably would come. Come on, let me introduce you to some friends so you can say hi to the ones you already know. With that, Rainbow took Rose over to her friends, and the team got to say hello again to those she already knew as well as get to meet the others. And within no time flat, Flashlight had made Rose an honorary member of the 8 Amazing 8, plus 1, and the 9 girls utterly 10 as they've been together their entire lives. As at this point, Posey's phone went off. Reaching to her purse again, she had a simple text from an unknown number. Did you make it to San Rafael safely? Well, we did, she typed. It'll be okay. I know it will. She's a wonderful girl, and you have every reason to be proud of her. Well, that's what scares me, Discord texted back. On the stage of Candlestick Park, Discord's band practiced, with the time allotted them today. They were headlining the band for the final day of the festival, and thus they had to get everything ready. Unfortunately, that didn't seem to be Discord himself. Freebase, running his hand through his white and silver dreadlocks, looked at Screwball. Hey, SB, you know what's up with the boss man? He seems out of it. Both looked at him and watched as the tussle-haired rock star seemed to have his eyes focused on the distance, particularly the stage's industrial entrance on the other side. I mean, I know all that public image shit does that, but I don't know. Looks like he's tripping if you ask me. Screwball looked back at the bassist. You think so? Yeah. A woman in her middle age looked at the pair, brushing the locks out of uncombed hair. See, look up all his family right now. It'll be the first time in years since he's seen his daughter. Wait, the D-Man has a family? Freebase asked. Screwball rolled her eyes. And I thought I was out of it. Lee, you really gotta pay more attention. I've been with the band the least amount of time, and even I knew that. She picked up her guitar and checked the cable line. Where it connected with the audio setup. It seemed off, so she filled a little bit before replacing it with a new chord. Screwloo looked up from her drums. Hey, SB, you know that, right? No, but I know a couple of facts, and I'm cousin with one of those. Screwball replied. I'm guessing this is the part where you want me to talk with them? Both Freebase and Screwloose gave her a even look. She shook her head. Yeah, I got the message. B, I'll fucking B. With that, he set the guitar down and walked over to the edge of the stage, plopping down next to him. Oi, boss, you got a second? So, what's he like? Discord said, early serious without a trace of smile. I know you met her friends, so please don't keep me in the dark. I know that somewhere my little girl came into the conversation. Saying this side of Discord, the happy silly man she performed with for the past few years surprised her. He had been absolutely goofy when he hired her as the replacement guitarist for the band. He danced the waltz on stage with Sugarlips when she presented them with the 2013 Grammy Best Rock Performance, not caring that the whole world was watching. Discord was a man who really didn't care about his public image, because his public image was based on him not caring. And yet, here he was, a milquetoast that he could, due to his daughter he left behind, hadn't seen in person for years, because he thought he was protecting her. You're a huge asshole, you know that? Screwball said. He sighed. I know. I'm sure Fluttershy will have much worse to say to me. Since I found out she was coming, I haven't slept much, worried about what she'll say. Hell, I spent about 2 of those days in an alcoholic coma, if you believe T-Rex. I do. I had breakfast with him and his wife this morning. He craves a normal life about as much as you do. Screwball chuckled. So many people bust their asses to get where we are, and what do we dream of? Being where they are. It's a fucked up world. Discord nodded. Yeah, it is. Sometimes I wonder if all this fame is like a drug, if I could really walk away from it, or just have one more hit and the rush will make me forget again. I mean, I recorded an album nearly every year. Hell, I'm busy even for a rock star, and I keep telling myself, the more I make myself a target, the more they'll leave my wife and children alone. And then I wake up one morning and realize that I'm doing that too. Sure, I'm not doing what the tabloids accuse me of, but where's my chance? My chance to be at my son's Little League games. When do I get to scare the hell out of my daughter's first boyfriend? Where's the happily ever after that all marriages are supposed to have? Couldn't tell you. You know how my pets are, she told him. Hell, Paul may thinks that I need to have a midnight moving with me to see if her eyes on them. He patted her on the shoulder. You're a good sister. She laughed. Ha! Don't get melted on me. I'm a bitch and I know it. I'm just a good bitch instead of a bad one. She looked at the clear July sky. Say, you know what you're gonna do when you see them again? Hug them and never let them go, he said, chuckling. No, I'm gonna piss my pants with fear. Because I've never been here before, being a real dad. I'm not even sure seeing them again makes me one. She got up from her seat and persisted. It doesn't, she told him. What comes afterwards will come at night. Well, hey, you're Discord, right? You'll figure it out. See your lemon pull in the air, as he said. Looks like the next bond's here for the practice station. What you gonna do? Say it. Discord shook his head. The shaggy white mass looking like a psychotic tribble for its shakes. Fortunately, we still have tomorrow in the underground conference room to practice. We'll get it right. We always do. Yeah, Z said, walking back towards the other band members. He turned his head to watch her wander off before adding under his breath, now I just wonder if I'll get it right. People, I don't know. Sometimes I prefer just checking out the slice of life action of Sunset and the rest of the cast over that really cool spy epic that's going on in the next scene. I really do. As the group walked through the lobby of the Mandarin Oriental Hotel in San Francisco. San Francisco! They were completely floored by the opulence of it all. From the expensive seating to the marble floors and the elegant chandelier lighting made them feel more than a bit small. This is amazing, Elzek said, her jaw one movement away from falling off. She was so awestruck. I can't even believe this place exists. Rosa's laughed. Yeah, I'm used to this kind of stuff that I forgot how fancy it can be. No offense, girls, but this is old hat to me. In the meanwhile, let's get you guys checked in. The blue-haired beauty walked over to her concierge, getting the girls checked to their room. We got you 2 eats to a suite. That okay? Pinky nodded. I call this Applejack! Before the blonde could even comment, Pinky rocketed over, grabbed one of the key cards, and grabbing Applejack's hand, cheerfully dragged her towards the elevator. I guess I'll stick with Fluttershy, Rainbow said. She could use her oldest friend right now, and I'm all too happy to help. Fluttershy nodded, grabbed one of the keys, and the two were off. Oh, great! You activated his shipper mode. Thank you! A TV saw Twilight all over the sunset and decided to make her move. Come on, Twilight, let's go get our room. Before the plum-haired scholar could complain, Krause grabbed the nearest key and wandered off towards the elevators, Twilight reluctantly following. Sunset looked at Rarity. So, losers get chosen last? The flame-haired girl said with a laugh. Of course, darling. I'll get the key if you'd be so kind as to grab my bag. The fashionista told her friend, and then the two were off. Posey looked at Rose. I'm afraid my son and I aren't planning to share a room with you, Rose. Rose laughed as she reached into her purse and gave Posey a key card. You've already been checked up in an executive suite with your husband. There's a decent room for your son. He'll be close by. I appreciate that, Rose, Posey told her. It's nice to have someone who can assist with that sort of thing. No need to thank me. I'm going to the family business, so I know how to handle these sort of things, Rose replied. Truthfully, this was easy. The hard one was last year when Dad asked me to help arrange a rendezvous with a notoriously, at least in public, heterosexual, oversexed R&B star and his longtime not heterosexual partner. They actually make a nice couple, but... She put her hands up helplessly. Just one thing I've learned is that image is all in this industry. The older woman nodded sadly. Entirely too much, if you ask me. Well, I'm going to check into the room and make sure me and Angel are okay. Will you be okay here? Rose nodded. Yeah. I'll call Rainbow in about 10 minutes to see if the girls want me to arrange a tour of San Francisco. I'm sure they'll be running around Chocolate Square and the Embarcadero, as well as some of the other sites. Sounds good. So I'll see you around? The teen nodded. Rainbow has my phone number. Just get it from her if you need anything from me. Likewise, feel free to give my dad a call since you have his number, and I'll do what I can to help. See you later. Rose said with a wave as she pulled out her phone and made her way over to the seats to contact her friend. As Posey and Hazel made their way to the elevators, the mother pulled out her phone and dialed a specific phone number, hoping it would answer. The first ring throw was connected to voicemail. She tried again, and the second time it was answered with a Poe. Hello, love, she said with a smile on her face. We're all checking into the hotel room now. Flares is bunking with a childhood friends of her, and Hazel's still a bit drowsy from the flight. But he'll wake up later, I'm sure. And Fluttershy. Well, since you were hyperventilating instead of listening, I'll say it slowly. Posey teased. She's with her friends right now. I thought I was the comedian in the family. She giggled. Anyway, they're probably going to tour the Embarcadero, so we'll be back tonight, Posey told him. And then we could talk. Fuck yeah, we would, Rainbow responded. I'm kind of embarrassed to admit she had no idea what the Embarcadero was. So, think you could get a hold of the girls to see if they want to go? Oh, hell yeah! No worries here, Rose. See you at 10, okay? Since the other girl disconnected, the spectrum-hammer athlete looked at her old friend. So, what do you think? Fluttershy, as always, smiled sweetly and nodded. Oh, that sounds like a great Rainbow. Do you think the others will come? Flares, we're here for you, Rainbow reminded. And that means you got charge of this whole shindig. If you want to go, we'll go, okay? Rainbow stood up and hugged the chiffon-haired girl. Yeah, Okay, so not as good at the messy stuff as the others. But I do know when you need a hug, okay? First, I giggled in response and pulled out her phone to send the others a text. So, Rose said to meet it downstairs in 10 minutes? Rainbow nodded, yeah. She also said tickets are still available. We could go see Alcatraz, which is totally cool. Freddy looked at the two twin beds. So, Sunset, dear, what do you prefer? I don't really care, Sunset says he made her luggage vanish. Technically, she hadn't brought anything except for Hammer Street's backpack. Originally, Core Cup Excel bags that Princess Celestia had commissioned for and given Sunset prior to her departure from Equestria. Upon its arrival in Earth space, it changed to a normal-looking backpack, complete with IKEA tag and stupid uptack name, and that was more than enough. She could have actually carried everyone's luggage, but obviously explaining all that would have been a tall order. Besides, she was trying to be a normal girl, and normal girls weren't usually the most powerful magical thing on the planet. Well, as long as you're not trying to cuddle with me, everything should be okay, Verity commented. Sunset froze in her tracks while the fashionista giggled. Oh, don't worry, Sunset, dear. I always find that sweet. Sweetie used to fall asleep in my arms and all the time when she was younger. Fortunately, you know how they get when they reach a certain age. It's nice to see that you and she get along so well. Sunset blushed. Maybe it's just me, but after being an only foal for the majority of my life, having a family, a real family, just cannot compare. I feel like I've been missing out for so long, and that everything I ever wanted, I finally now have. Randy went over and patted her best friend on the shoulder. And that is why I'm so happy for you, darling. Forgive the saying, given what you really are, but having family that knows you and always wants what's best for you, well, it's what makes us human, so to speak. The flame-haired girl laughed. Hey, you know me. I'm just a normal girl living in a mixed-up world. I said you won't, not really, Verity said. You're a 30-year-old male, if I recall correctly. Your older brother is 4 years younger than you. The statement had a sudden impact on Sunset. In a quiet voice, he said, I still don't know how I'm going to tell the truth. So he plunged herself down in the bed dejectedly. The people I love most in this world, the people that I should have no secrets from, and to this day, they really don't know me. They only know the person they think I am. Rarity realized he just opened a wound she hadn't intended. Oh my, Sunset, I apologize, I hadn't... No, it's not your fault. This is my doing, Sunset told her. It's just that... The pseudo-teenager sighed. I finally have parents, siblings, a real life. They could fall down on me at any minute. I'm living in a library, a house of cards I don't know how to get out of. Sunset, they love you, Verity answered honestly. They plan to adopt you, and I can finally make you part of their family. Families can forgive anything, dear. It is too in the past, I assure you. I hope so, Sunset sighed. I love them too much to lose them. So, Twilight, any ideas what do you want to do while we're doing here? Octavia asked her. Twilight crossed her arms. Yes. You could start by telling me why you didn't want me to share a room with Sunny. Only two to a room, Octavia said, and I'm sorry when it comes to the others. Twilight didn't bite that for a second. Please don't tell me you're becoming jealous of your cousin. She's not my cousin! The tone was cold and brutal, and it seemed as though the room had turned to the Arctic tundra during a midwinter blizzard. Less than a second later, Octavia added, well, not legally yet, but you know I think of her the same way as I do you. Twilight blinked, wondering if she just imagined what she heard. It wasn't like Octavia at all to make comments like that. But then again, it wasn't like Octavia to be acting that way she had since Twilight's return from Italy. Tavi, is there something you need to tell me? Not really. She dropped to a seat and looked at her cousin. Look, honestly, I just felt uncomfortable about sharing a room with one of the other girls, and the choice broke down to you or Sunny. Since Sunny's comfortable around Rez, you were the obvious choice. We were just over Rarity's place the other night, Twilight reminded her. You didn't seem to have trouble then. Because you were there, Octavia replied. If not, I probably wouldn't have. Look, they're all friends and they're wonderful girls, but they're not you, okay? Twilight went over and hugged her cousin. Tavi, here I thought you were the brave one all this time. Look, they're our best friends, okay? Everything will be okay, I promise. I know you're going through a hard time right now. Your sister gave her cousin an elated look. Not obvious. I don't think anyone expected your parents would have to leave early, Twilight said. Hell, Mom and Dad had hoped to have your bedroom done by the end of this month. Now changing schedule, Dad said you feel adrift. Yeah, sometimes I wonder if it was Sunny who was always with you. It's me who's the girl on the outside looking in. Ying! Bed bounce! Pinky called out the moment she stepped to the suite. She took a second step and backflipped before landing on the bed, perfectly on the bed. Applejack just shook her head in wonder before realizing that, as usual, Pinky was being Pinky. After a few minutes, the others got their texts, and everyone agreed to meet as one downstairs. Just in time for the escort van to arrive. Alright, girls, here's the plan. They're going to drop us off by Pier 39, and we can walk around the area the whole afternoon. The Embarcadero's pretty close to our location, so we should be able to get around on foot, no problem, Rose commented. If not, Sunny can just throw us in our magic backpack so we don't have to walk, right? Pinky bored excitedly. Immediately thereafter, 8 pairs of eyes looked at her. I just said something I wasn't supposed to say again, didn't I? Sunset just facepalmed at that point, while Twilight said, Pinky, what are you talking about? Nothing at all. Not like Pinky would ever break a pinky promise, the candy hair cheerleader said, laughing awkwardly before muttering a subtle voice. I really need to keep my mouth shut. Okay. So if you guys will head outside, Rose said, we'll get in the van and get going at Pier 39. Deciding to just forget about Pinky's latest bout of pinkiness, the 9 girls headed towards the Ecoline van parked at the pickup area. But since I was about to get in, she felt a tap on her shoulder. She turned to see Pinky give an apologetic look. The former unicorn gave her friend a forgiving and understanding smile as they all got into the vehicle. With that, the van drove off from the hotel, headed towards their destination. And it looks like we'll be stuck in Boston for a few more days. Sorry about that. We hadn't intended to be trapped here, but the whole conference is running overtime, and yeah, I know you don't want to hear that, but you know how it is. Look, I'll put some extra money into your account so you can go enjoy the concert. When we get home, we'll make it up to you, little sis. I promise. A voice sighed as a delicate finger traveled the distance of the smartphone screen to the off button. Slipping in her purse, the girl sighed, running her fingers through her green and blue locks before adjusting the glasses on her face. She was still adjusting to the short hair, since she was told to go to more girls with it. The glasses were the result of her last physical, and frankly, the idea of contacts, where you shoved glass right up against the eyeballs, made her immediately squeamish. Looking at the sea line and seeing the actual slits below, calmed her down slightly. But wasn't going to be enough of a force to brighten her day. 6.5 months of living here in San Francisco with her brother and his wife, well, technically legal guardian, but since said parent felt odd about adopting a girl less than a decade younger than him, they just agreed to treat each other as siblings. Still, she didn't feel like she belonged here. Granted, her life was leaps and bounds above what it had been just months ago during the holidays. But she was still being privately educated, which meant she hadn't attended school yet, which meant she had no real friends other than those she lived with. Even the neighborhood she lived in with them was mostly young married couples. Some of them men she attempted to see her more than once to return her old life, but she swore to never go back. Ooh, there's an antique bookstore. Can we go look? Yeah, figures we'd be interested in old books. No kidding. Let's over here and look out. I'm a little interested myself. Great, now you have 8 kids in stereo. 2 of the voices immediately caught the girl's attention as recognition set in. She looked at the direction of the sounds. Sure enough, a group was coming to the general collection. One girl in front acted as tour guide, while the others behind her seemed to be one of the tourists. Sure enough, 2 of them looked familiar. She was sure of it. She only met them once, and that dinner had been very awkward. But, as embarrassing as it was, she was feeling a little lonely right now. And bearing the presence of an acquaintance to absolutely nobody at all, right? Besides, it was her sister-in-law that told her often enough that Friends are mystical, or words to that effect. Leamington, as he approached, he called out, "Hi, Sunset! Shining right in Twilight Twinkle." "Hey, Amelia, sweet pea, if you please." The girl said with a smile that seemed more than forced. "I'm not eager to relive that part of my life again." "Yeah, and for the record, it's Twilight Sparkle and Sunset Shimmer," Twilight reminded her. "But it's good to see you again, I think. Anyway, what brings you here to San Francisco?" "I live here, but about a quarter mile away on Bay Street over by Russian Hill," she said, pointing the direction. "I come here all the time on weekends to read or feed sea lions. What are you guys doing here?" "We're here for the Rock God's Rule Festival," Sunset spoke. "Enter the concert stage before Pinky could slip up again. But since it doesn't start until tomorrow, our friend Rose here thought it'd be good to show us around San Francisco for a bit." "Wow, what a coincidence! I'm going there as well. Where are you guys going to sit? If I remember my ticket correctly, I'm in the Centerfield stands." Sunset scratched the back of her head, looked in embarrassment at the other girl. "We're in VIP seating in the front row. Oh, fucking yeah!" Rainbow squealed, only to get a sudden stare from a bunch of the others. "What do you say?" "Oh," Sweet Pea said dejectedly. In response, Twilight and Sunset merely looked at Rose and Flare's eye. The latter, who could do little given her current situation, said nothing, leaving Rose to come to the rescue. Rolling her eyes, the business girl said, "You guys are lucky I got a ticket for Scoots, just in case. So," looking at Sweet Pea, Rose said to her, "Okay, give me your info, and I'll have your new ticket waiting for you at the box office when you show up. We'll be there for the first concert, so if you want to meet with us early enough, you can all have breakfast together." "Yay!" Sweet Pea cheered. "So, to make up for that, I think I should show you all around this place. What a real local does around here. Let me go forward with the guy who has tickets to Alcatraz." Twilight and Sunset gave Sweet Pea a glazed look. He's my neighbor's kid. Here for the summer. No, really, I'm not, the girl suddenly flushed, the latest shade of embarrassment the girl had ever seen. "I'm guessing there's a story here regarding your friend Diaz," Rarity said to both her friends. "No comment," both sisters replied at the same time. "Oh, the mother and child reunion. Only emotional way," Discord sang, his eyes nearly tearing up at what he saw before him. "This is normal," Posey said to her husband as he smiled, picking up her dozing son off the floor. It had been a beautiful afternoon, though her husband hadn't returned in time to see Fluttershy. He arrived just as she and Angel finished unpacking and thinking about lunch. The reunion had been nervous to say the least. Angel barely remembered him. But to her surprise, Discord had taken the time to learn sign language. His guitar tech, it turned out, had been hired specifically because he knew it. Over minutes, the father had started talking to his son. A hug appeared soon after, as well as Discord's tears of joy. They spent the day together, having lunch at a secluded restaurant on the top floor of the hotel, where Discord introduced his family to the current incarnation of the band. Posey had chatted along with Skylark, or Screwloose to use her stage name, as well as meeting Free Bass and Summer Violet, or Screwball as her stage name went. The five grouped around. It was an especially touching moment when Screwball brought Angel over and started teaching him about how to play a guitar. Needless to say, he absolutely enjoyed it, and the tender look that Discord had on his face was something she would treasure for the rest of her life. It certainly brought pause to the faces of all but Skylark, whose husband was here, though her college-age son couldn't make it. The afternoon had even been better. As Discord thought ahead, it brought a game system so he and Angel could play. Watching as her husband and son gained along, she wasn't very surprised that her husband was quite more skilled than with them, even though he knew exactly how to lose to Angel without making it seem like he was destroying the game. Around dinner time, they ordered room service, letting whatever time and distance that existed between Angel and Discord become a thing of the past, with the two platinum-haired males chatting along as though they had never been apart. Now evening had beckoned, and Angel had fallen asleep watching movies, lying next to his father, as both drank huge peanut butter and chocolate shakes. Posey stayed slightly distant, giving them both this moment, and enjoying the moment as it were a slice of pure paradise, the closest thing to fulfilling her heart's desire. Still, it was just that, only close. One member of the family still remained absent from this reunion. That was the part that was going to be the hardest. Fluttershy, I have no idea how she's going to react to all this, Posey mused silently. She knew Discord was ready to see his daughter again, but did the same apply in reverse? Unaware of his wife's thought, Discord bounded from his prone position and asked, Poe, do you mind if I put him to bed? Hun, The last time I did, he was fairly bit larger than my forearm, Discord said in a soft voice, looking at the young boy dozing on the floor. It's not going to be for a few more years before he's into girls, fast cars, arguing with his parents. I just got him back today. I want to enjoy what little I see of his childhood before it's all pissed away by the exterior of an angsty teen. Because after that comes college years. Then the, Dad, I'm wild about this girl. And then my grandkids will be making fun of me because I look like Rolling Stones on their annual Decrepit tour. Angel would never do that, sweetheart. He's my son, so he's got to be as much of an imp as I was, Discord said, his red eyes shining. Besides, I'm sure I've told you how bad I was during my teenage years. My old man and I fought all the time. And then I go over and, well, never mind. She's not in my life anymore. Posey didn't laugh and Discord asked something funny. A grin came onto the doctor's face. Celestia, right? Well, yeah, I think I mentioned her name once or twice. But sweetheart, she was ages ago. Throggard pled as Posey fished out her smartphone and brought the gallery app and showed her husband a picture. This was taken back in the science fair back in early March. Posey said, our little girl won 3rd place for her studies in animal behavior. He blinked twice. We're not exactly friends, but Celestia keeps me up to date on Flutters' progress, Posey said with a grin. And yes, she knows who Flutters' father is. The look on Discord's face was somewhere between mild panic and warped pride. Too late to think about sending her to a private school in the area. A few minutes later, after Angel had been put to bed, both parents sat down on the couch. It wasn't long before Posey leaned into her husband. You don't know how much I miss this, Posey replied, as her husband snaked an arm around her shoulders. There have been days when I miss you so much, she said, reaching out to caress his face. I miss you every moment I'm not with you, he said in return, taking her face in his hands. That's a lyric from your next song? He smiled. Only the truest words for my beloved wife, he told her as he brought his lips to hers. The two briefly leaned into a kiss, stopping from going further only due to their sleeping son in the other room. Finally satisfied, Posey collapsed on her bed with her head on her husband's lap. Have I ever told you you kiss wonderfully? As compared to who? He asked impulsively. He, however, was prepared for that question. Double Diamond. Guy I knew in the 5th grade. Good looks, but sloppy kisser. Didn't know his party favor. Absolutely adorable kind of guy, but a bit, well, he kissed weird. And after that, I swore off dating until I met you. But you already know this. Discord grinned. I do. What makes you feel all the more lucky I have you, Poe? The two were suddenly interrupted by the sound of Posey's cell phone ringing. A particular ringtone that she only assigned to one person. Though Posey didn't get to the phone in time, a second later a text arrived telling her where to meet. She's here. Are you ready? Discord sounded surprised. You mean? It's time, love. Angel will be fine here, and I can always come back. She reached down and took him by the hand. You've been waiting for this moment forever, Discord. It's time to reunite with your daughter. You sure you can walk home okay, Sweet Sunset asked. Not really, but there's a taxi outside, and I have plenty of money, so it shouldn't be a problem. The other teen replied as she waved goodbye to the others. Look, thanks for not telling them about you now. Look, my brother told me about it. I don't feel like that's anyone's business but yours, unless you decide to tell anyone else. I know my sister won't say anything either. Besides, the flame-haired girl replied, I know how you feel. You do? I'm adopted, and when Shiny first met me, he was the one I first met in the family, since he kind of sort of arrested me. Arrested me? Yeah, he kind of thought the same thing about me as he did you, Sunset angrily admitted. Firstly, he's more interested in fixing the situation than gaining points or whatever it is cops do. That's why he asked his mother, now mine, to get the help I needed. That's why he was willing to go to bat all the way for you. Because he cares. I know, and I appreciate that. Don't take this the wrong way, but if you break up with Cadence, I'm first in line to fuck his brains out. Sweet Pea Val, I'll even marry him afterwards. Sunset facepalm, I did not need to hear that. Look, I mean that sincerely. I'm sure you do. And I had nothing against Cadence, Sweet Pea interjected. Just think of an insurance policy for your brother if he needs it. Yeah, anyway. I'd rather change the subject. Mia's here at 8 in the next morning. Then we're going to go to the Hippo for breakfast. Then we'll head to the concert. That work for you? Works great. See you tomorrow then. With that, Sleepy headed to catch a taxi outside, while Sunset watched her walk off. Once he was gone, the flame-haired teen yawned, and decided to go up to her room. Tomorrow was going to be a tough enough day with seeing all the acts, but the one who would have it the hardest, without doubt, will be Fluttershy. Do I look okay? He ran his hand through his hair once more. I could go put on a suit if I need to. Posy rolled her eyes. Since when do you own a suit? He grinned. I have some in the case of emergency. I haven't found an emergency that requires one, to be honest. But I'm sure there's going to be one sooner or later, right? Probably not, she said, kissing him on the cheek. But you're fine. It's not that kind of emergency. Discord, the famed chaos god of rock, the man who creates the current cover of Spin magazine, looked as though he was ready to hide behind his wife's metaphorical cottontails. I think I should look best for my little girl. No, she said, stopping to take her face in her hands. No. There's been enough hiding behind images and everything else, love. Fluttershy needs to see you as who you are, not your stage persona. So he then poked him in the chest and added, she needs to see Discord, not Discord, got that? He chuckled. You have no idea how much I miss that little bit of sanity in my insane world, he said with a grin. She leaned and kissed him. I promise there'll be more of that where that came from. As the two kissed, the elevator dinged and the doors opened, revealing 9 girls that headed to their respective suites. Well, I know about y'all, but I'm completely worn out, Applejack admitted. I think I'll go get some sun. Pinky did chirp. Oh, but I thought we could just watch the stars over and over and over and over and over. Pinky, darling, I think we get quite the idea, Verity replied. But I don't think that's possible. It's not, Twilight pointed out. All the light pollution prevents it. We might have been able to see it from Alcatraz, but that's not a given. Yeah, but running around Alcatraz was awesome, Rainbow chirped. I mean, just seeing all that nice Wait, is that your mom, Flutters? And she's making out with... Oh, Dios mío! All eyes suddenly turned to the 2 adults kissing passionately in the hallway. Recognition suddenly dawned on both Sunset and Rainbow's face as huge grins came on their faces. A split second later, both girls shouted out, It's Discord! As a flicker of sense, the man suddenly broke from his kiss, then looked around, saying, Where? Oh, I've got to get that guy's autograph. He's just fucking awesome. Oh, wait, that's me. Shifting his shoulders back as he said, Well, I suppose you guys are the ones who, not quite men, have to be talking about me, because Mr. Disco Red isn't here. I should know, I checked. Affably, and clearly in his element, he pranced over to the girls without so much as looking at them and said, Now, I suppose I'll sign a dotted line for you. Sorry, not making deals with the devil at the moment. You'll have to see my agent. And then I got to get y'all two out before the nice security... He suddenly trailed off his eyes fixed on the gaggle of teens in front of him. In particular, the chiffon-haired girl in the middle of them. Dad, Fluttershy whispered, before uttering her mouth unexpectedly, as if she never meant to use it. Fluttershy, he replied hesitantly. She looked at him again, as if recognition suddenly set in. And then her eyes hardened, taking on a cold fury.